Hi, I'm Jim Kordiak, Anoka County Commissioner. I represent the cities of Fridley, Columbia Heights, and Hilltop, and I'm also the commissioner responsible for Anoka County's recycling programs. As a county, one of our biggest challenges is to adequately convey to our residents the importance of recycling and the role that they must make to make recycling programs successful. Anoka County works with 21 municipalities and recycling service providers to collaborate on projects and to provide education to our residents. We've seen many changes over these 20 years that we've worked closely together on. Although these changes have made recycling easier, it still sometimes can be confusing. That's why I'd like to introduce two new programs, Recycling Then and Now and Recycling 101. They will help us to explain the recycling technologies that is used to get materials from the recycling bin to brand new recycled products that we use every day. We hope that you will join us in recycling all that you can. Our natural resources are too precious to waste.
Grandpa!
What's wrong, Michael?
Grandpa, stop them! They're putting our recyclables in a garbage truck.
It's all right, Michael. That's not a garbage truck, that's a recycling truck.
Well, it looks just like a garbage truck.
Yes, it does. Sit down, Michael. Let me tell you all about our new recycling program. You see, Michael, recycling has come a long way over the years. Today we can put all of our cardboard, newspaper, mixed paper, glass bottles and jars, 1 and 2 plastic containers with necks, and our metal beverage and food cans into one single recycling bin. Then we can wheel that bin out to the curb and a recycling truck, like the one you saw today, comes to pick it up.
Wow, Grandpa, was recycling always that easy?
I'm afraid not. That's why there are still so many people who don't do it. They just don't realize how much recycling has changed. Back when your mom was younger, there wasn't much we could recycle. Emma! Need to load up some papers. When we got a chance, we would load the old newspapers into the car and take them to the local paper drive. Looks like I clipped about a full load. Or sometimes we would take our pop cans in to be recycled at the scrap metal yard. We didn't have a recycling trucks coming to our house back then. When we finally did get recycling at the curb, we had to separate all the different recyclables into different bins. We even had to separate different colors of glass.
That sounds like a lot of hard work.
It was. And we couldn't even recycle plastic or all the mixed paper we get. As time went on and technology advanced, recycling got a little easier, and you could put all of your paper into one bin, plastic, metal, and glass into another bin. That's how you and your mom do it at your house.
Wow, Grandpa, it really has gotten easier for us to recycle. Well, what happens to all that stuff after the truck picks it up?
Well, Michael, the truck hauls all of the recyclables to a place called the Materials Recovery Facility, or MRF. At the MRF, the truck dumps its contents out onto the tipping floor, where a big front loader comes and pushes all of the recyclables into 2 conveyors built right in the ground. The conveyors then take the materials up to the sorting lines. Materials in the sorting lines are sorted by hand. Cardboard boxes and brown paper bags are pulled off first. All of the remaining paper and containers continue on the conveyor and then through a series of filters called news screens. These screens separate out as much newspaper as possible from the other materials. Any paper materials that go through the news screens are sent to a second group of hand sorters who remove any material that isn't newspaper. The materials that were not separated by the news screens continue on the conveyor through angle screens. They separate out all of the plastic, glass, metal, and aluminum containers. Any paper that is separated out is sorted by hand again to make sure it is the right quality. Once all of the paper products have been removed, the containers are brought back to the tipping floor, where they are pushed into another in-ground conveyor that takes them through the container sorting equipment. First, all of the containers pass through a large rotating drum covered in holes. The drum lets any small materials mixed in with the containers fall through the holes and off of the line. The drum is also lined with magnets that pull steel cans and other metal items away from the other materials. The separated steel products are sent into a storage area where they wait to be compacted and sent to a steel manufacturing market to be recycled. The mixture of glass, plastic, and aluminum cans remaining on the conveyor then goes through a filter called an air classifier, which sends glass in one direction and plastic bottles and aluminum cans in the other. Glass is then sorted by hand into 3 different color groups. Once sorted, the glass is stored outside until it can be shipped to market. The plastic and aluminum cans then go through a vibrating conveyor to separate them from one another. The separated materials run on parallel sorting lines, and the plastic is hand sorted into one of 3 categories: milk jugs, detergent bottles, and soda or water bottles. The plastic bottles are tossed into chutes that blow them into a storage silo, where they wait until they are compacted. Finally, the aluminum cans left are separated automatically by a special magnet called an eddy current that repels them from the conveyor belt. The cans are also blown into a separate storage silo before being compacted. Once all of the material has been sorted and stored, the different materials are compacted into a form that is easier to store, handle, and ship. The result is large, compacted bricks called bales. These bales are then delivered to different markets that will use them to make brand new products. For example, the bricks of aluminum cans are shipped to processing centers that can make them into brand new cans. The aluminum is shredded into small chips, melted and then rolled into enormous sheets of aluminum. These sheets are then cut and formed into new aluminum cans. Nearly 50% of every aluminum can is recycled content. Paper bricks are sent to paper mills where they are de-inked and turned into pulp. The pulp is bleached, dried, and fed through steam-heated rollers that dry and flatten it. It can then be trimmed, rolled, and sent to printing plants. Recycled plastic containers are sent to a facility that washes and chops them into small flakes. The flakes are dried, melted, filtered, and formed into strands. The strands are cooled and chopped into pellets, which can then be used to make a variety of plastic products. The glass that has gone through the MRF is also broken down, filtered and mixed with sand, ash, and limestone before being melted. The molten glass can then be formed into glass bottles and containers of any shape and size.
Gee, Grandpa, you sure have seen a lot of changes with recycling. What do you think it'll be like when I grow up? Will we have any garbage at all?
I sure hope not. After all, garbage isn't really garbage. It's just material waiting for someone to figure out how to recycle it.